представители разных стран.
GDP growth rate. We are the fourth most affordable city in the world. We are ninth, the safest country. We are 15th, lowest internet costs. We are a country with 99% of internet coverage. With 99.99% literacy rate. Million English speakers. We are 36,000 free grad students. We are more than 100,000 IT talents. We are more than 1,400 tech-based enterprises. We are more than 500 IT export-oriented companies. We are more than 300 foreign tech companies. We are a 0% tax rate for IT companies. We are fully committed to fostering innovation and entrepreneurship. We are the IT hub of Central Asia. Uzbekistan is the new outsourcing hub. We welcome you to grow your business with us.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Digital Leadership Forum, happening here in the bustling city of Tashkent, Uzbekistan. My name is I'm the CEO of IT Park University. Honored to be serving as your moderator here today. I am partnered up with an amazing co-host, whom I will introduce to you in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to rock and roll as we unveil the gem of the East to all the incredible companies out there. Now, it's like finding a hidden treasure, except this gem is a booming outsourcing market, just waiting for you to dive in at first. Now, picture this: Uzbekistan, the land of opportunities, where the government is fired up and just ready to make IT and BPO industry shine. Now, they set a jaw-dropping goal in front of them, hitting $5 billion of IT export by 2030. Now, that is some serious ambition, my friends. Now, we're not kidding here. By the end of this event, we're going to make sure that you are itching to prioritize Uzbekistan as your #1 market to conquer. We got tax exemptions for all the IT and BPO companies. We got the government with guts to push the digital development, and a whole lot of besides. Now, we have a special guest who is about to add some star power to this event. This guy is a bona fide celebrity in the ICT world, and he is going to take this event to a whole new level. Now, he's not just the host of this event, oh no. This guy is an absolute powerhouse of knowledge and experience. He has been consulting governments, sharing expertise, and he's been observing Uzbekistan, changes in Uzbekistan for the past 8 years. Now, talk about having all the reference points for comparisons. Now, with this guy by our side, we have an incredible source of objective opinion about Uzbekistan's digital landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, wait, let me add a bit of a drama here. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you, the one and only Paul Michael Cullen.
Thank you very much. I'm just Paul. You know, I have lived, worked, traveled to 120 countries. 120 countries. Some very challenging countries. So for 40 20 years, everybody's asking, what do I do next? You may think, Paul, you say this in every country you go. This is not true. Everybody has a challenge to grow their economy. Everybody has a challenge to develop industry. Yes? And just now you heard from my colleague, he said it starts with leadership. It starts with a vision, but it needs execution. So when I came here in 2016, I'd never been to Uzbekistan. I didn't really know too much about it, but I knew some similarities. Australia, mostly desert. Uzbekistan, a lot of desert. Australia, wrapped around with ocean. Uzbekistan, wrapped around with no ocean. Yes? 30 million people, 30 million plus or minus people. Huge resources, huge resources. Everybody's having a comfortable life. Because it's resource driven. But we've seen in the last 20 years, the whole world has changed. Let's put the pandemic aside, let's put geopolitics aside. And here you saw, you have a significant population that is young. And our job as we get older is to help grow these people, to develop the talent. So 8 years ago, roughly when I came in 2016, it was a different Uzbekistan. The Deputy Minister then invited me to give a presentation. What do you think we should do? How should we do it? What's your advice? I came 2 years later and I saw the changes. They were already obvious in 2 years. When I saw the latest results comparing 2016, 2023, I didn't need to read the paper. When I entered the airport, the new CIP lounge is here. It's very different. When we're driving down the streets, everybody is driving properly, if I might say this, yes? Yes. I see the same transformation in China, where I live in Shenzhen. 7, 8 years ago, there were very few cars, and if you step on the road, you're probably going to get run over. Today, a 50-ton lorry will stop at the crossing and the gentleman put out his hand and invite you to cross the street. I have the opportunity to live in a country where for almost 7 or 10 years we don't use credit cards, debit cards, cash. Everything is digital. Everything is digital. Now look at the results you have here. Everything is digital. So my key message today, as I'm about to introduce and welcome to the stage to give the welcome address and the keynote, to explain what he did, how he did it, and what's next, is digital. Anything starts with transformation, starts with leadership, and then bringing everybody together to execute on the plan. It's actually very straightforward. It's about execution. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome the Minister, Mr. Shermatov, who's going to give a welcome address and also present the new digital Uzbekistan.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear guests. I'm very honored to see you here in Tashkent, in the Uzbekistan conference. And actually, this is a very important event today for Uzbekistan because we have first digital leadership forum in Uzbekistan, and we see so many leaders of the digital world. It's very difficult for me to describe all the participants because there are more than 100 different leaders from different countries of the world. We see many former presidents, former prime ministers, Mr. Hamad former ITU leaders. So many current leaders of different IT companies. And you are all welcome. You are all welcome in today's digital leadership forum. And let me give you a brief presentation, as Paul said. So, in 2017, it was a very interesting moment. In 2017, I was acting minister, industry minister. At that time, it was called the different responsible for IT. And I was trying to present, based on the international experience we had visited Belarus, we had visited India, and Based on those experiences, if we create the necessary preferences for IT companies, zero tax regimes for corporate taxes, and less taxes for the employees of IT companies, then we will be able to create the IT industry in this country. It was a crazy idea by the time, because maybe most of you do not know how Uzbekistan was in 2016. In 2016, Uzbekistan was a completely closed country with no currency convertibility. Most of the business is done in cash. So at that time, we were trying to kind of justify the importance of giving this kind of openness. And you have to admit that our president, as I said, Mr. Zioi, has a very visionary goal. He is able to set very visionary goals. At that time, despite the fact that all the fiscal bodies, all the finance people were kind of opposing this idea, he approved. And now, in 2017, when we were presenting our presentation that we will reach 30 million in new export trade, it was, laughed by many of my peers that how can you reach 30 million exports? This year, we are proudly saying that we are going to reach more than 10 times of that goal. $300 million of export. And this is just a beginning. And with your help, we set very ambitious goal. It was announced the campaign by His Excellency Mr. Zioi that by 2030, we will be reaching $5 billion of IT exports. And today I am in the same situation when I was back in 2017. Many people here might be saying, oh, this guy is crazy. How can he think about $5 billion when he's just talking about 300 million? But today, with your help, I think if we put this central question, how are we going to reach $5 billion and what we should do as a country to reach this goal? And I think with your insights, with your experience, with your ideas, we can further develop to make any changes necessary for your companies to feel safe, for your companies to choose Uzbekistan, and for your companies to make more business, to grow your business with Uzbekistan. And as it was introduced in the beginning video, Uzbekistan is a very populous country. Now, if you look at the Forbes of your block, we are, I think, almost the #2 most populous country. And from the 1990s, we have increased plus 16 million people, and most of them are young people. And for the past 6 years, we have been doing comprehensive reforms in all the fields of our country, and most importantly, in human capital. Because education is the most important area where our president was focusing his attention. We have almost non-existent preschool education. Now we are covering most of our kids with preschool education. Most of our kids were unfortunately in bottom fields. Now all those teachers are in school. And with the help of our partners, I was the Minister of Public Education responsible for more than 10,000 schools for 3.5 years. And we have implemented very important projects together with our partners. And I see here His Excellency Ambassador of the United States. US helped us to implement 3 important projects. English-speaking nation. The idea is to have more graduates of our schools who can speak freely English. We call the project English-speaking nation, so that every graduate of schools will be able to speak. This is an extra opportunity for you to look for Uzbekistan as an IT and DPO outsourcing. And of course, the IT Nation project, by which we connected all our schools with high-speed internet. We reviewed fully the IT curriculum, and at the end of the day, we will have more IT qualified people upon the graduation process. And by 2017, we had just 9% of quota for higher education. For the past 6 years, our president increased those quota for state universities, allowed many international universities to open, and allowed many private universities to open. Now, only in IT, we see more than 65 universities who are preparing specialists in IT, and today we are going to witness the opening of one more very ambitious university project, and this would add up to your human capital, to your human needs, so that you can rely on these highly qualified specialists for the growing of your business, of your outsourcing business in Uzbekistan. And of course, for the past year, we have introduced many important changes for those companies who would like to relocate their business due to these events in the world. Due to these uncertainties, we have seen hundreds of companies moving their offices to Uzbekistan, and thousands of highly qualified IT specialists moving to Uzbekistan. So we have introduced IT visa, we have introduced one-stop shop services for all the companies who would like to relocate their offices, their staff to Uzbekistan, which includes the registration of legal entity, opening the bank accounts. And meeting at the airport, we have even arranged special aircrafts for those big companies who would like to relocate their staff to Uzbekistan. And of course, we created office buildings as well. Here you can see the first stage of our office buildings, and this type of buildings are available in all 14 regions of Uzbekistan, and we are also expanding to 200 district centers of Uzbekistan. And you can compare the prices. We have so many young people who are eager to work for much less than you can see, of course, not in Western Europe or the West, but even you can compare with Eastern Europe or other developing countries. So this is a cost benefit for your business to prosper. Because in times of uncertainties where you see the ever-growing prices of food, ever-growing prices of money, for the companies located in the Western world, they should be sure to be able to competitive, to look for the locations where they can have the most out of their business. So Uzbekistan offers the best value proposition for your outsourcing business. And of course, IT part is not just the tax practices. IT part provides the comprehensive services for IT companies. Here I will not go too much into detail because we have platforms presentation and we will describe all the details of this, but it's a whole ecosystem of services for IT companies. It provides a full range of services, so you don't have to go to any other state entity if you want to make an IT business in Uzbekistan. The IT part would be that you're the only single source of doing business. And today, I'm happy to announce that we are launching the next stage. What would be the next stage? The next stage is International Center for Digital Technologies, which is going to be located in this area. We just built the first buildings, which we can see the first buildings. But we are going to expand this infrastructure. And it's not just about infrastructure. It is about regulatory standards. So IT is moving very fast, but our regulation may be very difficult to change. But those companies who are located in this area will be in a regulatory standard. They can test their ideas, they can test their startups, different startups. So it will provide them much more flexibility for IT companies to work, especially legal regime. Because maybe our regulatory framework, the legal framework overall in the country might be difficult to change to the needs of the modern IT companies. But here we will have a special legal regime based on your request. And of course, it might be very difficult to protect all these intellectual property rights or some guarantees invested to all the countries, but specifically in this region, in the International Center for Digital Technologies, based on your advice, we will make a special system where you will feel very safe. You will have best world experience in terms of protection of your guarantees of investment as well as your intellectual property and everything. And of course, we are thinking about providing special financial and banking services within this territory, so that all those companies who have innovative ideas in fintech, innovative ideas in different sorts of new services, might test their ideas here and might be able to export them. And based on this, we have a now special task force who are working on developing all those proposals. And here, based on what practically we would like to create you the best conditions so that you don't feel that much difference whether you are working in many developed countries or you are working in International Center of Digital Technology in Uzbekistan. But the main difference will be the cost. Cost of doing business, cost of living, and cost of the local employees you get. And whom we'd like to see here? First of all, headquarters of the international companies. Already today, we will be witnessing that two major IT companies are opening their regional headquarters. Historically, most of the regional headquarters were mostly in the northern part of the CIS. But today, many companies are moving all the CIS headquarters to Tashkent. And today we will be opening two of them. And we will invite all other companies to follow this example. Because now Uzbekistan is the best place if you consider working for Russian-speaking countries. Because we have the best conditions, we have so many people who understand the Russian, as well as English, and this would be the best place for you. And not only to Russian-speaking countries, we are not limited, but based on the tax preferences, based on the cost comparison, I think you can, in future, relegate your global headquarters here as well. And of course, those companies who are focusing on IT experts, IT service experts, business process outsourcing, knowledge process outsourcing, they are all welcome to the International Center for Digital Technologies as well. And venture funds, startup accelerators, if they are located within the premises of this IT park of Uzbekistan, they can also enjoy the tax preferences of IT park of Uzbekistan. And here you can see Harfat and Olimjan also here. So these are two of our leaders, local leaders, who are now in our team who are leading the team of experts to make this International Digital Technology Center the really working institution for you. And so these are the two focal points. Today during the coffee breaks or in our mountain sessions or after them, they will be available for you for open discussion on how to make this International Digital Technology Center really suitable for your needs. And that, of course, we will be very much eager to see those companies who would like to open the headquarters. So I'm also available 24/7 for those big companies who are really willing to open their headquarters. And of course, if there is an interest in being a part of this infrastructure project, if you are interested in real estate, definitely the real estate here, based on the additional preferences, will be much higher in value than in other parts of the country. And of course, we are very much interested in consulting and modern banking services. And I hope that today will be very important for the future of digital Uzbekistan. And definitely with your help, I think we can reach 5 billion target of Uzbekistan. Thank you.
Folks, I want to share a very short, incredible story about one of the measures of support mentioned by His Excellency the Minister, IT visa. Now, this story demonstrates an unwavering support that sphere of IT receives from the government and the President himself. When IT Park came up with this idea, it took a mere 2 weeks to get an approval on the highest level of the government. 2 weeks. Now, normally, a process of this significance takes at least several months. So that shows you how closely the Ministry of Digital Technologies collaborate with IT Park. It demonstrates the strong political will of a strength that is second to none. This is the reason why IT Park has been so successful in a very short period of time. Now, when people ask us, what is IT Park? We say, you usually say, we have the Ministry of Digital Technologies, which is the regulator, and we have IT Park, that is the main executive agency responsible for facilitating the development of IT sphere in Uzbekistan. However, I was talking to Paul yesterday. I really liked one notion that you had, Paul. We say the ministry is the regulator, but I was really shocked, very pleasantly surprised when he said, yes, the regulator, but your ministry works more as an enabler, not the regulator. That is very true. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite to the stage our next esteemed speaker, the CEO of IT Park, Mr. Fatah Ibrahim.
Good morning, distinguished guests. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation in a short call to visit us, to visit what's going on in Uzbekistan, what's new. And this is a big honor for me to announce today's new incentives, new schemes, which probably many of the companies are waiting for 1 year. We have a tradition every year in July. We have to gather all the IT specialists. By the way, when I say the IT specialists, it means IT and enabled services. It means that with the BPO companies for the future. So when we call the IT specialists, we always announcing something new, what's happening. The current figures, what we will launch very soon, and what we will launch ahead for the next